Alan joining me here this morning for Bullseye Options. What's up, Alan? Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Markets are doing well now. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if anymore. When's the NASDAQ going to make its new all-time highs? You can see NVIDIA leading the way, and I was listening to your previous guests lamenting about NVIDIA leading the way. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. You can't be concerned when NVIDIA is down. You can't be concerned when NVIDIA is up. And if Google can start to play ball, the whole NASDAQ is going to really make a move.
All right. I don't know who's concerned when NVIDIA is up. NVIDIA is doing great. It seems like, to me, it's almost like, as long as that's up, it's like the Fed put used to be, you know? It's like we don't need the Fed put. We got the NVIDIA put.
Right. It's about risk reward. No one liked it when it was trading at 100, 105, 110, but now people are looking, and technically could easily get to 180, 190 based on that V recovery. And that also means that the NASDAQ itself, you know, we talked about this before, that full V recovery on the NASDAQ sends us to 24,000, which is nearly 20% above. So we could see a market melt up across the board here. So I love how things are sitting right now with these technical price patterns.
All right. Well, my Friday closing monologue was setting the stage for an everything rally. So we might be overlapping in that analysis. Yes. So then, all right. But then I wonder, you know, this is kind of, I'm always like, all right, then you're going for Teladoc. You know, I was about to say that.
I know where you're going before you even go there, my friend. So
well, that's because that's our trade for the morning.
Right. First off, we talked about Riot last week. We were looking at Bitcoin.
Yeah, the blockchain play. That was good.
Exactly. And if Bitcoin breaks up above 70,000, we've been between 50 and 70. We're going to 90. So, you know, and there's nothing up above. You know, when you look at some of these charts, you just have to have some price projections. But one of the themes today is we've got to talk about selling too soon. And we've done a lot, you know, every time we come on the show, we talk about buying an option, but we don't get into the specifics about selling. You've got to sell too soon. And that's what I did on a lot of these plays, the Cisco, the BEKE, the ZIM, you know, a lot of these plays along the way, you've got to pitch out. And if they keep going, they keep going. All right, let's get to TDOC. Pull up a chart, my friend, right now. Zoom info, ZM.
Okay.
The long forgotten Zoom, the biggest boom in Zoom that we saw.
You think that's going to happen to Teladoc?
Yeah, and look at that chart and compare it. They're almost the exact same as Teladoc. Zoom peaked at 600. Teladoc peaked at 300. They are the exact same chart. You know, it's kind of the same mentality. They had the boom because of COVID, and they've fallen off a cliff. The risk reward is extreme on both of these. Obviously, the Zoom the Zoom play is going to be more expensive because it's a higher dollar stock with more volatility. So this is a poor man's trip into that same genre, into that same play. Look
COVID
at that
winner
chart.
Turned loser, basically, right? COVID winner turned loser. The three-year chart basically is the one that's going to give you what you're looking for, because both those went from heroes to zeros. Right?
I'm trying to help you produce your show as well.
We appreciate that.
So look at that chart.
Yeah.
So it's bottomed out, and that's what we've been waiting for. You wait for a sign of a sentiment shift. And I've talked about this on your show over and over again. It's bullish divergence. We made new lows, but not new highs implied volatility. The shorts are running out of strength. You're seeing some short covering. You're seeing some basing. We've been between 7 and 10 for 3 months. A breakout of that range target is 13. There's a gap up above at 16. And I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm not asking for it to go back to 300. But a small move in the underlying stock produces big gains in the options. 5% move in the underlying stock is a 50% gain in the money option. A 10% move in the underlying stock, which is not that much. We're at $10. You know, what's 10% on $10? Not a whole lot. So, you know, that's what it's all about, math and probability. The way to play here is an April option. April has 6 months of time. It's trading for about $3, $3.10, something like that. It's deep in the money, obviously. It's $2.50 in the money, and it's only like 25 cents more expensive than the January option. So you're buying the time, a bottom base. Short covers could get, you know, short covering could cause a squeeze. I love this chart because of the smart money indicator that I follow as well.
All right. Okay, case well made for the comeback story for Teladoc. I mean, look, if it booms like Zoom, then you're onto something.
And if it doesn't, you're still long from 7.5. You're still deep in the money on a stock that, you know, has a limited downside, let's say. Obviously, anything can happen, but It's also important to note that there's earnings October 30th, which is only 10 days away. This is not an earnings play. This is an April option. Earnings is, can be binary, even if you know what the earnings numbers are going to be. Not that anyone ever knows, but you don't know how the market's going to react. So this earnings could be a catalyst. It's a possibility, but there are so many things that could be a catalyst over the next 6 months on a $9.75 stock.
True. I like it. I will say, though, that earnings, that's your risk point, because this thing can go crazy on earnings sometimes. I will sleep well. I'm long from 7.5. All
right. I've got limited risk. It's a $300 option, limited risk, and 6 months of time.
All right. Love it. Boom like Zoom is the idea.
Boom like Zoom. That's the theme for today.
All right. Earlier this morning, we heard bigger in base, higher in space. So we got a lot of good rhymes going. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate the energy, as always, on a Monday morning. You're the man. Chief Market Strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Coming up, let's talk some commodities with Robert Minter. Good name for